Welcome to the second episode of the Coltsland Files, covering the paranormal and terrifying occurrences within Coltsland, USA. However, we will not be covering something supernatural this time, but rather the notorious serial killer Dylan Kessler, who terrorized the residents of Coltsland for 3 years. This story covers his first known crime and the fortunate victim who escaped him. Our story begins with a young woman named Meadow. After having just been in a fight with her husband Bryce, Meadow had gone for a drive to clear her head and stopped at a convenience store late at night for a quick snack. After she finished eating, she broke down, remembering all the hurtful words between Bryce and herself. Dylan Kessler, who was in his late 20s at this time, saw Meadow crying and asked her what was wrong, and she explained the whole situation. Dylan consoled her, and Meadow thanked him for checking on her. However, Dylan suddenly got way too close, put his arm around her, and whispered in her ear that he could be her husband for the night. Meadow immediately backed away from him, saying she was not interested. Dylan became enraged, yelling at her that she should not lead him on, and then act surprised when he took advantage of an opportunity. Meadow complained to the cashier in the convenience store about how Dylan was making her feel unsafe. What happened next was caught on the security cameras. Dylan stormed into the store, drew a pistol, and blew the cashier's head off. For what felt like forever, Meadow stood, frozen in a state of shock. Before she could react, Dylan grabbed the back of her head and covered her face with a chloroform rag. Meadow tried to break free, but it was futile and fell unconscious. The manager had entered the store the next day and came upon the gruesome remains of the cashier. The police were called and saw footage of Meadow's kidnapping on the cameras. External cameras showed Dylan loading an unconscious Meadow in the trunk of his car and driving off. Able to identify the license plate, the police eventually tracked down the vehicle to a one-story house in a remote neighborhood. After searching the place, the police found no sign of Dylan but found Meadow's remains. The details of what had happened to her were so disturbing that they will not be shared in this video. Her husband had later remarried after undergoing extensive therapy to deal with his grief. Unfortunately, for many others, the nightmare was just beginning, as Dylan would go on to kill again. His streak of terror would not end until his death in a shootout with authorities at Memphis Forest. Thank you for watching, and for the residents of Coltsland, please stay safe.